ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before I get into this video, make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe, because soon in the next week or so, I will be running another giveaway. The time has come for me to run another giveaway to give away a tier 10 tank, which will probably be the AMX 30B. So I get to give away one tier 10 tank every 2 months. So next week I will be running a giveaway where in the beginning of February, one of you can win this tank. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Help me along, you know, let's get to 70,000 subscribers, because as soon as we get to 70,000 subscribers, we will have another big giveaway for you guys. So make sure that you subscribe. So back to the video. What is this video about? So basically, it is the most played tank in Blitz. The most played tank in Blitz. Now, this is something that you can look at. If you look at things like Blitz stars, it does show the most played tank in the last 90 days. What I've actually asked for Wargaming, because there's nowhere that you can find it, I've asked Wargaming plenty of times. Now, we've had a few different community contributors contacts for our boss. And every time I ask, I never get answer. I never get an answer. I don't know if it's something that they can actually release. Like, I know they'll have the stats, but I really want to know what is the most played tank in the game ever. Not just the last 90 days or the last 60 days or 30 days. I really want to know what is the most played tank ever. But what this, so we're going to have a look at the top 5. We're going to have a look at the top 5 most played tanks over the last 90 days. Now, some of these I'm actually very, very surprised about, like this tank right here, the T57 Heavy. Currently, over the last 90 days, this is one of the most played. 1.655 million. 1.6 million people, well, 1.6 million battles have been fought in this tank over the last 90 days. So yeah, I'm surprised at this tank. I really am surprised that this tank is up there. And some of the tanks that have always been up here are no longer. I mean, the last time I made this kind of video, we had things like the Smasher, the Annihilator. These tanks were up there. And then you get things like the Tigers, Tiger 1s, KV2s, and even the Waffle. The Waffle has always been up there. It's been a very, very popular tank, but none of them make the top 5 in this like 90 days. So the T57 is number 5. What is number 4? So number 4 is the grill. So the Waffle doesn't make the list. The Waffle, the tier 9 version, does not make the list, which is very surprising because everybody loves the Waffle. But it seems to be people have gone from the Waffle to the grill. Now, me personally, I love the grill, and thanks to this update, it now has the best camouflage in the game. This is an absolutely beautiful camouflage, and this is what Wargaming need to do more of. They need to do more of this kind of camouflage because it's realistic. You know, it is realistic. This kind of camouflage is realistic, and it's now pretty much one of a kind. There might be a couple of others like this, but the grill, I think, now has the best camouflage in the game. So, as I've said, there is no longer the Waffle in the list, but number 4 is the grill at 1.685 million. So again, 1.6 million, just a little bit more than the T57 Heavy, but it is in the list. Now, with this list that I'm doing, I strongly agree that the number one of this list could be the most played tank in the game ever. I do think it could be the most played tank in the game ever. I think it's closely followed behind the KV2. I still think the KV2 is up there ever. It's not in the list no more since obviously it got nerfed since the arrival of the Smasher. No one really plays it anymore. But I strongly reckon the KV2 is up there in the top 3, maybe even 2. And number 1 in this list is probably the most played tank ever. But the Grill at 1.6 million comes in at number 4. Number 3 is another surprising tank. So number 3 is the TVP. And again, I mean, I know it's a popular tier 10 medium tank. I honestly thought there'd be other popular tanks, you know, like the Object, not even the Object now, but things like the T62. I thought that would be up there, not so much the FE4202, but you know, with the with the buff, it's got the 4 shells, it's the auto loader. It proves to be the most popular medium tank in tier 10. So the Grill had 1.68 million, so 1.6 million in the Grill, and that was number 4. This, over the last 90 days, has had 1.9 million battles. 1.9 million battles over the last 90 days. So it proves to be popular. You know, there's no other medium tank on this list that comes close to 1.9 million, almost 2 million battles in the last 90 days, just in this tank alone. So yeah, it's very, very popular. It is a difficult tank to play, you know, just because of the auto loader. It's got no armor, it's got a long reload, but if you know how to play this tank, then you can succeed in the tank. Now, I've just been absolutely deleted by the FV215B, who then has to say something in the chat. You know, as them, you know, them people who do a good shot, and then I don't know what he said, but he said something. But you know, when you're in that kind of situation in a tank like this, I've just relocated. You know, I've got no hit points left. I've done no damage, really, but I've just relocated. And now I've got to kind of change my play style. And because you do have that auto loader with the 4 shells, it's easy doing that, and it's still easy to pick up some damage. You know, if the heavy shoots, you're able to release 4 shells into him, and before you know it, that 1,000 damage is now 2.5k damage. So as long as you're able to get them 4 shots out, then you will succeed. Now, just like here, this Death Star, you know, you want to say something to me, Death Star? Well, you're going to wish you didn't, because we're just about to reload. There we go. He can't do anything, and 1.5 seconds in between each shell, and now he is dead. Yeah, you can do that. Whatever, I don't even know what you're doing. But yeah, very surprised. I am, in a way, surprised that this is on, especially number 3. But obviously it is. I knew it was a popular medium tank anyway. And yeah, 1.9 million people played this tank, or 1.9 million battles were played in this tank in the last 90 days. So what is coming in at number 2? So number 2 is the Sherry Dan. Again, it used to be popular. It used to be popular a while ago. Maybe when it had the missiles, it was extremely popular. Then it kind of went out of fashion a little bit. You have people still playing the tank, but not as much as people are playing it now. So at the minute, 2 million battles were played in this tank over the last 90 days. So a little bit above the TVP, but yeah, it's proved to be very, very popular. Now, if I would have done this video a few months ago when the T100 Lite was in the game and it was extremely overpowered, then yeah, I think the T100 would have taken this place, because for sure the T100 is a popular, or one of the most popular light tanks. You know, it's got a DPM of a medium, it's got the mobility, it's got that the thing where you shoot and people stay spotted for double the time. But the Sheridan has now overtook it. You know, the Sheridan is coming back into fashion, especially when you could do shots like this and track a Death Star. And you know what? I meant to do that because I have a mission where I need to track 6 different tanks. So yeah, I'll put it down to that. But yeah, people are now playing the Sheridan again, and a lot of people are playing the Sheridan. It's becoming very, very popular again, and it's always been a popular tank. It has always been a popular tank, but not this popular. You know, again, since the missiles went, it hasn't ever been this popular, but people are now started to play the tank again, and it is becoming back in fashion. So that leads me with just the final tank. I'm sure you can all guess it, because this tank is always in the top 5. And of course, it's the Death Star. It is the Death Star. Now, the amount of people that have played this tank, like, this is why I think this is probably the most played tank ever. Even though it's a tier 10, and I didn't think I would say a tier 10 is the most played tank ever. I would have said maybe a lower tier. Something like a KV2. I really thought for years that the KV2 was the most played tank ever, and it still could be, because if Wargaming gave me the details and they actually told me, then we would know. But looking at the top 5, the most played tanks that I always look at, this is always on that list. Now, compare this to some of the other tanks. I mean, the Sheridan coming in at number 2, which is the second most popular tank right now, was at 2 million. This tank is at 3.4 million. That's a massive gap. You know, let's have a look. The T57 on the list, 1.6 million. The Grill, 1.9. The TVP, the T57, 1.6, the Grill, 1.6, the TVP, 1.9, the Sherry, 2. So, you know, there's not much gap between them. And then, boom, the Death Star, 3.4 million battles played in this tank over the last 90 days. And this is exactly why people want to play the tank. Because of that, because of the Hesh. It's not even that fun of a tank to play. It's not even a great tank to play. But because of that Hesh, that is why people want this tank, and that is why people want to play it. They just want to feel the Hesh. You know, they want to just shoot and do 1,500 damage. And yeah, that is why people play this tank. But 2 million for the Sheridan and 3.4 million for a Death Star. That is a massive gap between second and first. And this is why I think that the Death Star is the most played tank ever in this game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree, or do you think that there is another tank out there that beats or that tops this that tops this list? So let me know in the comments below. But for now, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye. With